I just wasn't breaking the barriers. I would get so far, but then I'd have to work 10 times harder to get a little bit further.
What inspired you to become a real estate agent?
So what inspired me to become a real estate agent is probably a little bit different than what a lot of people might answer. I was in corporate America for 20 plus years, worked in a very male-dominated industry, working in tech. And so, I just kept seeing that no matter how hard I was working, no matter what I was doing, I just wasn't breaking the barriers. I would get so far, but then I'd have to work 10 times harder to get a little bit further. And I actually went, when I was a consultant, I was up for a really big promotion and did all of the work to get this promotion. And we were at the Ritz-Carlton end of year party where I was expected to be, they were gonna communicate that you were gonna get this promotion. Go in there, I'm standing there, and it was the worst feeling ever when they announced who won. Because obviously it wasn't me or who won, who got the promotion. It was a person that I had mentored. And so even though I had brought in 6x the revenue for my company than that person did, he got the promotion. And when I asked our general manager, I'm like, why did so-and-so get the promotion? He's like, he just invested in his social capital more than you did or better than you did. And I'm like, I literally sacrificed my family life and my family time to pour in to this company, brought in more revenue, and I was just done. I was like, and it was the worst feeling ever because I sat there when they're announcing this other person and you're trying to I know what all of the movie stars, when they're like, they expect to win and you're like, yay. No, it was so uncomfortable. So I was so upset and I grabbed 2 bottles of wine, bottles of wine and a dessert tray that was like this big. And I handed it to my husband. My husband's standing there like, what am I gonna do? So I was like, he's like, what are we supposed to do? And I'm like, we're going to the room. And I got my laptop and I'm like, Google careers where women can make as much as men.
Yeah.
And real estate just came up over and over and over again. And so I just poured all into that. And then as I became a real estate agent and started working in this, and you were my mentor, so you remember when I was a baby agent.
I do.
I started to see how fulfilling it was. And it really filled a cup for me that I didn't know was empty by helping serve my clients and being a part of the transaction. And then obviously added bonus, I get to work with you. But it was just really kind of crazy. How about you?
So I got into real estate on accident. It's kind of funny. I was a full-time employee with a hotel as their events director, and I was 19 and I'm like, I need money, I'm gonna hustle. So I actually met my investors cleaning their houses. They saw my work ethic and they were like, hey, we want you to work for us. And I was like, real estate, 100% commission, that might be a hard pass, but they eventually convinced me and paid for my license, and I've just kind of been in it ever since. I've actually been working with them this whole time, so they've stuck with me.
Client zero.
Client zero. They believed in me, they paid for my real estate school, and they continue to work with me, so I love it. They're awesome.
And you're licensed in multiple states, right?
I am licensed in Washington State also. Also doing some investment properties, but it's kind of my wheelhouse.
The queen of investments.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Love.
All right, second question is, what's your favorite thing about the community you serve?
So I serve Castle Pines, and one of my favorite things is actually going to be the neighborhood. We sit really close to Daniels Park, and Daniels Park has a herd of elk. There's probably I think they said 120 elk. And
got a lot of studs.
I got a lot of studs. And they actually just cruise in the neighborhood. They'll lay in our backyard and do all of animal things. But it is my favorite thing about the neighborhood, and just being close to nature, but also the trails that it provides. What about you?
So I love my little pocket neighborhood. I say we kind of live in this little island, Southeast Aurora. We have the best I'm a little partial, but we do have like some of the best communities because each little pocket neighborhood, or most of the pocket neighborhoods, have like their own clubhouse, their own pool, they have their own elementary school. I mean, it's just, everything's just in your little community. You really don't have to leave for a lot of things, but if that's not your jam, there's so much other like fitness stuff to do. Like we have a lot of boutique fitnesses from like Bar and Rumble and Stride and all of those kind of classes. So we have that, but then we also have grocery stores. We have the shopping center, which is like an outdoor mall. We got Nordstrom Rack now, so like really don't have to leave.
But your
Walmart,
your
Target.
community is pretty big in like development, right?
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
new
we're
builds?
kind of like a city. Like we are kind of like our own little city, and it's crazy because even a lot of people who grew up in Denver Metro, when you say like, I live in the Southlands area, and they're like, where is that? And I'm like, you know when you drive down Smoky Hill Road and then it stops because you can't go any further? That's where the neighborhood is, but it's really amazing because it really blends like the convenience of having the highway, so you can go to like if you work in the city, if you work by the airport, like it's really convenient to the airport too for travel. But then you're in this like really close-knit family community that is probably one of the most diverse communities for the income band. So when you're thinking of like a community that has like tract homes and semi-custom homes, we are probably one of the most, if not the most diverse community for that style of community properties and school district. We have one of the best school districts in the state. So when you blend all of that and you're getting rich diversity on top of it all, like those are all added bonuses for me.
What's one unique feature that sets the homes in your area apart?
I would say both of our areas, like we have very similar areas.
Oh yeah, because we're kind of like new, but not super new.
Yeah,
which
20
is
minutes
nice.
apart.
Yeah. So I think like very similar in both areas, but so in all those amazing neighborhoods in the Southeast Aurora area, many of those communities have a mix of like tract builder homes. So you'll have like Lennar and Richmond and Century communities, and you have like Toll Brothers, all of these builders that are building like similar style homes, like different models that are very similar. But you also kind of blend in those custom and semi-custom homes as well. So within each community, you're able to buy something that's like on the more affordable range with like the Lennars and the Richmonds. But then if you want to be big baller and you want to have like a custom home,
Semi-custom.
that sits like backing to a golf course if you're in Blackstone, or if you're in South Shore, you can have waterfront, I kind of feel like that's weird, but waterfront property where you see the Aurora Reservoir, and so you kind of have this like beach where there's no other houses. Or you could be like in Whispering Pines or Talon's Reach, where they have the protected forest land. And so they have all of that protected forest land that just goes through the community. And so you see nature and trees, and it's almost like each community has its own identity. So you're blending like this custom and tract, but you're also getting the modern amenities in a very craftsman style house. So I love that about the Southeast Aurora, like Southlands neighborhood, how you can get all of that, and it's such a beautiful neighborhood. Like you just drive through there and it just feels like home.